Have you ever imagined that a cold, dusty, lifeless world millions of kilometers away actually experiences seasons, just like Earth? Yes, Mars, the mysterious red planet, goes through spring, summer, autumn, and winter. But not in the way you might expect. And what happens during these seasons might completely change how you see this alien world forever. Let's start with the basics. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and is often called the red planet because of its rusty, iron-rich surface. It's about half the size of Earth, with a thin atmosphere made mostly of carbon dioxide. Temperatures on Mars can drop to a freezing -125 degrees Celsius at night, and barely reach 20 degrees Celsius during the day. Sounds completely unlivable, right? But here's the surprising part. Mars behaves more like Earth than any other planet in our solar system. Just like Earth, Mars is tilted on its axis. Earth is tilted at about 23.5 degrees, while Mars is tilted at around 25 degrees. This small difference is the reason both planets experience seasons. Because of this tilt, different parts of Mars receive different amounts of sunlight throughout its orbit. And that creates seasons. But Mars is not exactly like Earth. Its year is much longer. One full orbit around the Sun takes 687 Earth days. That means each season on Mars lasts nearly twice as long as on Earth. Imagine a winter that lasts for almost a year. Or a summer that feels like it never ends. Now here's where things get really interesting. Mars has extremely eccentric orbit, meaning it doesn't move around the Sun in a perfect circle. Sometimes it's closer to the Sun, and sometimes much farther away. This causes uneven seasons. For example, in the southern hemisphere of Mars, summers are shorter, but much hotter. Winters are longer, and brutally cold. While in the northern hemisphere, seasons are more mild. This imbalance creates some of the most extreme weather patterns in the solar system. And speaking of weather, Mars may look quiet and dead. But during certain seasons, it becomes incredibly active. Massive dust storms can form, covering the entire planet. These storms can last for weeks or even months. In fact, some storms are so powerful, they can block sunlight across the whole planet. Imagine Earth covered in dust, for months. That's Mars during storm season. Now let's talk about something truly fascinating. Mars has polar ice caps, just like Earth. At the poles, you'll find layers of frozen water, and frozen carbon dioxide, also known as dry ice. During winter, these ice caps grow larger as carbon dioxide freezes from the atmosphere. And during summer, they shrink and release gas back into the atmosphere. This cycle is similar to how ice melts and freezes on Earth. But on Mars, it's far more dramatic. Even more incredible. Scientists have observed that during spring on Mars, the ice doesn't just melt quietly. It actually explodes. Yes, gas builds up under the ice, and suddenly bursts out, creating dark streaks and patterns across the surface. It's like Mars is alive, breathing through its frozen skin. Mars also has changing landscapes depending on the season. Dark streaks appear and disappear. Dust moves across the surface. Winds reshape the land. Everything changes, slowly, but constantly. Now you might be wondering, why does this matter? Why should we care about seasons on a distant planet? Because understanding Mars' seasons helps scientists prepare for future missions. And maybe even future humans living there. Space agencies like NASA carefully study these seasonal changes to decide the best time to land spacecraft. And one day, humans. Imagine living on Mars. watching a sunset with a pink sky, feeling a cold Martian breeze, and experiencing a year that lasts nearly twice as long as Earth's. Seasons there wouldn't just be different. They would feel completely alien. But here's the biggest question of all. If Mars has seasons, if it has ice, if it once had water flowing on its surface, could it have supported life in the past? And could it, one day, support life again? Mars is not just a dead planet. It's a world full of change, mystery, and possibility. And its seasons are proof that even in the cold emptiness of space, there are worlds that feel strangely familiar. So next time you look up at the night sky and see that small red dot glowing faintly, remember, you're looking at a planet where seasons come and go. Storms rage across the surface. And the story of life might still be waiting to be discovered. Loudspeaker call to action. If you found this amazing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Because space is full of secrets. And we're just getting started.